I personally decided to get involved with BMDMI because I work all the time at home, and when I get away, I can come to BMDMI and have a chance to work a different type of work than what I do.
This past winter at our church, Mark Brazier played a video of BMDMI and their trip that they took last year to Nicaragua. And when the video was over, my daughter and my wife looked down the pew at me and they both said, "We've got to go." And I was like, that's what I was thinking. So anyway, here we are a year later, and it's been everything that my daughter and I would hope it would be. So.
God opened the door for me to enter medical school, and then He helped me, I also feel like, on every test, and allowed me to become a physician. That talent came from Him, and in my faith it became very evident that He desired me to use those talents for Him and for His glory. BMDMI was a perfect match for my training, for what I do, but again, it was all because God allowed it and allowed me to be a physician.
My favorite part of this trip is being around all these other good people. There's a lot of good people involved in BMDMI.
Being this my first time, there were many experiences which I thought were exciting. One thing that I really love this week is seeing the smiles of children light up on their faces because of my ignorance of their language. You're able to communicate more with actions and smiles than you were words, which is what I'm so accustomed to.
Being able to share the gospel with someone like that who is eager to hear it and even ready to receive it is such a tremendous encouragement for me, and helps me to know that God is continuing to work, not just in North America, but all around the world.
It reminds you of what you're supposed to be doing every day. It revitalizes those habits that we as Christians must be practicing every day, of sharing the good news with those who don't know Christ, or sharing what you have with those who do not have.
One thing I love so much about BMDMI is it allows a path for which people can get involved in missions, maybe beyond any scope or concept that they thought they could have before, to be able to go from their local church in America to become a foreign missionary. BMDMI's framework of organization allows people to hook on to a team and to go and to do things and see things that they would never be able to do otherwise.
You may say, well, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional, I'm not a nurse, I'm not an optometrist, I'm not a pharmacist. Well, let me tell you something, I'm not either. I'm an accountant. But I found a place here on this team. You don't have to be a medical professional. You don't have to be a professional pastor. What you got to have is a heart for Jesus Christ. You got to know Him, and you got to love Him. And you've got to want to do what it is that He's called you to do, and that's let others know about Him.
One thing in photography is the picture can never portray the real thing. A picture can capture a lot of what you see. It can give you an idea of the subject matter, but it doesn't replace actually being there. And if you're watching this video and you're considering serving on a mission trip, let me just tell you right now that the video cannot do justice. You need to experience what God is doing in the world. God is working, and if you're thinking you want to be a part of it, by all means, you need to come.
Whatever it is that God's given you a gift to do, you can do it here in Nicaragua, and you can be effective in Honduras. You can be a blessing in Nepal. God has a place for you on one of these teams. You'll find your place, and you'll find the greatest blessing that you'll ever know in your life.